the previous video, we performed some basic arithmetic operations on different variables. Today, we are going to learn about method. We can call it function as well, but in C# we will call it method. A method is a bundle of code that can get called any number of times as often as we want. A method allows us to reuse a block of code without retyping the code over and over. We simply write the code once inside the method, and whenever we need that piece of code, we just call that method, and the compiler executes that piece of code. So type void, it means return nothing, and type name of the method, display message, and put open and close parentheses and curly brackets. This method has no parameters. You can see there is nothing inside the parentheses, and this is called body of the method. Whatever we put inside these curly brackets, it will get executed when we call this method. We are going to print a simple message inside this method. So type print, and I will say I am a method. I'm going to call this method inside the start method, and this start method is from mono behavior. You can read about the start method from Unity documentation. Go to Unity and click on help and go to scripting reference and search for mono behavior. Go down and search for start method, and this is start method. It says start is called on the frame when a script is enabled, just before any of the update methods are called the first time. You can read the detail if you like. Now go back to Visual Studio and call the display method. To call it, just put name of the method, display message, and open and close parentheses and semicolon at the end. Now save it and go to Unity and hit the play button. You can see the method. It says I am a method. Now go back to Visual Studio. We have another method that doesn't return anything but has one or two parameters. So type void, again return nothing. Type name of the method, add two numbers, type int a comma int b, and put open and close curly brackets. This method has two n-type parameters, and we are going to add these numbers, these parameters inside the method. So type print, and I will say the sum of two numbers plus a plus b. This plus sign is called concatenation, and I have talked about it in my previous video. If you don't know about concatenation, typecasting, or variables, you can watch my previous videos. Link is given in the description. Go and check it out. And this is simple addition. We can also put the output of a plus b into another variable. So type int sum equal to a plus b. Here we are storing the sum of a and b into this variable. Now we just need to call the sum variable. Put sum here. To call this method, we need to put name of the method, add two numbers, open close parentheses, and semicolon at the end. Remember, we need to pass here two arguments. Now it's time to talk about a little bit of terminology. When we pass some information into a method, like an add two numbers method, we passed int a and int b. From the method perspective, these informations are called parameters. But when we think of these informations from the calling side, when we are calling the method, these informations are called arguments. That's why I said argument a moment ago. To pass arguments here, we need to declare two variables. But always remember, the variable that we want to pass as arguments must be the same type that we get passed as parameters right here. So type int, you can give any name to it, x equal to 5 and int y equal to 10. Now pass these variables into this method. Pass argument in the same order as we pass parameter. So put x comma y. Now save it and go to Unity and wait a second and run the Unity. Now you can see the sum of two numbers is 15. Now go back to Visual Studio. We have another method that returns some value and has no parameters. So type int, which is the return type, and type name of the method, return some value, and put open close parentheses and curly brackets. This method return int value. I didn't put here void. As I said, void means return nothing. I want to return int value. You can put any data type that you want to return. You can put float, integer, double, string, and so forth. To return some value, we need to put the return keyword and put the value I want to return. Now to call this method, we need to put print, and I will say I got the value and plus call the method. I'm going to type return some value, which is name of the method, and semicolon at the end. So now save it and go to Unity and hit the play button. And now you can see I got the value 10. Go back to Visual Studio. The best way to call a method that returns some value to store that value into a variable. So type int store return value equal to call the method return some value. So what we are doing here, we are calling the return some value method that returns some value of integer type, and we are storing that value into this variable. Now we need to just call this variable right here. So I'm going to type store return value, save it and go to Unity and hit the play button. As you can see, I got the same result. I got the value 10. Now stop it and go back to Visual Studio. Now I want to talk about the last method that returns some value and has one or two parameters. So type float, which is the return type, and now type name of the method, division, and I'm going to pass two float parameters, float A, float B. The process of this method is the same as we did in the previous method, return some value. But here we just need to return these parameters. So I'm going to type return a divided by b. We are dividing a by this another parameter b, and we are returning the result into this float. Now we need to store the result of this method into a float variable. We cannot store the result into another data type. It will give us the error. Let me do it. Integer result equal to division, and let me pass some parameters. Float x equal to a equal to 10 and float b equal to 3. So I'm going to pass a and b. As you can see, it gave me the error and it says cannot implicitly convert type float to int. We can fix this issue by typecasting int, but it will give me something else in the result. It will never give me the decimal numbers if I print it. Okay, I'm going to print it. Print the result division of two numbers plus result. Save it and go to Unity and hit the play button. And you can see here the division of two numbers is 3. It didn't give me the decimal numbers. So to fix this issue, we need to put here float, because we are getting float numbers in the return type. So now it will fix this error. Save it and go to Unity and hit the play button. Now you can see the division of two numbers 3.333 and so on. Here is an assignment for you. We have 3 more important methods that we will use a lot when we start making our games. That is awake, update, and fix update. Let me type it. Void awake. This is update, and I'm going to type text update as well. These methods are from monobehavior. Go and read about these methods from Unity documentation. It's a good practice. Reading documentation will help you a lot in game development. Today we learned about different types of method. Hope you guys understood all the things that I discussed here. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get all the updates. That's it for today's code. Catch you guys in the next video.